Hi, my name is Avukamu, and yep, this is Resident Evil Requiem. I'm a horror speedrunner primarily. I speedrun a couple of other things, but on top of my dulcet tones and commentary, we have Sanjan on the couch. Sanjan, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hello, hello. Y'all saw me yesterday. I totally I've only played my first Resident Evil game about a year ago, so I am totally a Resident Evil fan.
All right, so just to describe the game a little bit, this is Resident Evil Requiem. This is technically Resident Evil 9, which is the 10th game in the series because Resident Evil 0 also exists. It is the most brand new Capcom game. It came out maybe about a month and a half, 2 months ago. The category is technically called No Intro and No Orphanage. What this is no intro means you skip the introduction, which is about 10 minutes of walking, talking, cutscenes, holding W. There is one section of combat that is negligent because I'll explain it. Leon does one shot in the combat. But the reason why we have a no intro category is because this game is difficult, is an understatement. I've talked with a lot of other runners and we all agree they're top runners of other Resident Evil games that this is probably the most reset heavy, probably the hardest Resident Evil, and I get the lovely privilege of showing it off. Hopefully so that you guys enjoy it. But yeah, that's enough talk. Let's go ahead and get started. Timer will start when I start moving in 3, 2, 1. So, talking a little bit about the plot, we are playing as one of the two playable characters. Right now, we have introvert FBI analyst Grace Ashcroft, the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft from the previous Resident Evil Outbreak Files 1 and 2. We're going to be introduced to our first stalker type enemy here. Stalker in these games means they just follow you. They add a little bit of pressure to you, and we're going to try to do our first skip of the game. Remember, this is insanity. You get grabbed, you are dead. And that is the first skip of the game. We managed to slide by her. We're gonna go for another skip right here. Normally, how you would do this casually is because Marie, the giant stalker behind us, is sensitive to light. You would normally bait her away. We have to be quick. It happens sometimes. It's unfortunate. So we go again.
That is brutal. Oh my god.
Yeah, this
run is can be very, very unforgiving.
Extremely unforgiving. The first 20 minutes of this run is probably one of the worst things in any speed run I've done. You have a lot of streamers who are top tier in their game. They never leave the first 20 minutes in a week stream. So let's go again. I'll kind of focus here, Sanjan, if you just I don't know.
Yeah, so the big thing about this is you have to be very precise with your timing. You'll notice that he has to position himself in a specific spot to quickly climb the cart and be able to grab the screwdriver here if he's not fast enough, pretty much. Nice. So you play as two characters. You'll see the other one a little bit later here, but you can think of this part as more of the survival horror aspect. And he was not kidding when he mentioned that this is very hard. And we are playing on Insanity difficulty, which is the hardest difficulty, and he has to also make sure that he runs in a very precise direction, because if not, Marie will catch him and life will not be great.
As you could see, that was a totally planned sampler of what this run is pretty much essentially about. Yeah, this is the first.
It's important that everybody knows the stakes.
Yeah. Every zombie you meet as Grace, because Grace as a character is much weaker than our second protagonist, classic 90s hero and fan favorite Leon Scott Kennedy. But she is a lot weaker. She has less HP. Her guns do less damage. But now we play as Leon. We're going to be interchanging a lot between the two characters. But because this is Insanity, we have access to the shop in the beginning. We're going to do a quick shop. Handguns are essentially useless because it takes about 45 bullets to kill one zombie. So we're going to be getting the shotgun. We're going to be upgrading the damage once. We're going to be upgrading charm on it called the Cute Bear Charm and the Requiem, which is our magnum for this game. We'll start out with the charm on the Requiem gives it unlimited penetration, but Sanjan, do you want to quickly explain while I'm doing this fight section what the Cute Bear Charm does for the run?
So the Cute Bear Charm is a charm that you can equip on a shotgun. What it does is it'll deal more damage if you are within a specific range. So this is pretty critical because since we're on Insanity, a lot of these enemies have tons of HP and they are very big damage sponges. And we need a damage increase from the Cute Bear Charm to be able to handle a lot of bosses. As you're going to see, a lot of the ammo routing is very, very specific.
Are we glossing over the fact that it's a banana? Why aren't we talking about the fact that it's a banana?
So this is the Requiem. This is actually a banana mod. You can in Resident Evil speedruns, it is legal to use mods for your weapons. I believe it is not legal to use outfit mods.
Yeah,
and so
because we don't know if
people...
necessarily outfit mods change the hitbox and whatnot, but weapon mods, I don't know what gave it away that this was a weapon mod, but yeah, this is supposed to be a magnum, but zombies are actually afraid of potassium in this game. We just point the banana at them and they just heads explode.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm taking notes.
Can you find me the floor plan?
Yeah, that section we just did actually went extremely well. That combat is extremely random because, as you saw in the end, you want the zombies to line up for a collateral. There are a lot of resets. I mean, every section I describe, I don't want to say a lot of people reset here because honestly, this is one of the few speedruns where, for those of you who speedrun, you know, some sections are easy. You know, past a certain point in the game, you know what your PB is going to be. This run is nothing like that. Every split -1. Everyone has reset to. That's what it is. So, but we'll be playing it safe. So we're gonna be using 2 items that we normally wouldn't use in the speedrun because it is slow. We're gonna be using something called the Skull Charm. Anytime we take a fatal hit, there is a chance that we are left with 1 HP, and we are going to be using the Infinite Ink Ribbon, which allows us to save. In Resident Evil, normally if you have played the classics, you would know that you need an ink ribbon to save. Otherwise, you're not able to save. So let's just save for this. And the reason we do this for Grace is if you die, you start from the very beginning of the Grace section. So for the speedrun, yes, you wouldn't save because it loses time to save and whatnot. But, you know, I'm sure all of you would love to see me die at the end of a 30-minute section and go back 30 minutes. So a lot of people who need sleep at this point, right?
Yeah, the Grace section can be extremely unforgiving. On the other hand, Leon sections have more autosaves than I can count on both of my hands. So what Camus is going to do here, he's going to switch to 30 FPS. This is to manipulate a nice dodge here. Ooh. The chef
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, yeah.
Not very nice. So in Resident Evil games, I believe the attack speed and animation somewhat differ based on, I forget. They differ based on your FPS.
Yeah, you're theoretically smaller on the 30 FPS. So you're able to squeeze by a lot of things. Normally in a normal run, you would just obviously just got a YOLO at this point. But yeah. I'm gonna make a quick save here because, you know, at this point, I'm not risking anything.
Yeah, so so if you see the little thing on the top left corner, it's called the SRT. It's a mod it's a injector that you can put that is legal for speedrun use. It tells you your DA, which is not important for Insanity because that's always set to the maximum. It tells you your HP and the amount of enemies. So Camu did a little trickier. So a lot of these zombies have sort of special quirks to them. That zombie we saw is obsessed and hates lights and lighting, so he uses that as a distraction.
Yeah. So the zombies in this game are particularly unique because if you're a fan of the Resident Evil series, you know that zombies kind of get smarter and smarter as the games go on. So the main trait of zombies in this is they retain some sort of property of life when they were human. So obviously there's like a singer zombie. She was an opera singer. You do not want to get hit by one of her attacks. And a lot of these zombies, since they're employees at this care center, kind of maintain. So this guy's a manager. So you hear the zombie say you're fired, which is probably a horrible thing for a manager to be having as their keepsake. Stay as there was a zombie. But anyway, we're going to be collecting 3 quartz throughout this level. To escape the facility, you need all 3 quartz. So this is the first one right here. We're going to need to collect all 3. We're not going to be getting the other 2 as easily as the first one. This first section is very long. It being a survival horror, there's a lot of elements of you need key items, which unlocks another area, which then unlocks another area, which then unlocks another area, and vice versa until you get to the end of this area. But for now, we picked up a red gem. We're actually going to use to go back right here and open this door. We need to be really quick with what we do in this room because the chef, if you recall in the kitchen, is on his way out here. So we're going to have to be really careful, really quick. We're going to grab this key card. We're going to dodge this zombie who has only 1 arm. We're going to get this pouch for extra item slots. And if we're quick about it, you should not see the chef, but you should be able to hear him behind us. Quick.
This is just a very bad average Friday for Grace.
Mm-hmm. Take another safety save because, you know, we don't want to start from the very beginning again. And then we go into the East Wing. So you'll notice that Grace doesn't have access to a lot of weapons. Leon Kennedy in the cutscene gave her his requiem, and he decided, you know what? I'm just going to give you 1 bullet. It doesn't matter how many bullets you have in the requiem prior. You could have 0. You could have 100 million. Leon Kennedy, for some reason, says, yeah, you only need this 1 bullet. So we have to use this 1 bullet extremely carefully. We're going to turn this light on, go in here to manipulate some of the spawns so that the zombies will follow us. And because this guy was some sort of lightman or something, he's going to ignore us right here. Go for the light switch because they need to save electricity. This collateral shot. Okay. So this collateral shot is super important. So I'm going to focus.
So he needs to get this collateral shot primarily. That was good. So that once for later, when he goes through that section, he's not going to have to deal with them because there's sections where you're gonna have to walk through this area and you're gonna be occupied with other things. So making sure that they're taken care of is extremely crucial. Even in the casual playthrough, this section when you first play through it can be brutal.
Well, speaking of things that might occupy me, do you want to explain chunk and chunk skips?
Hey, buddy! Oh my god! I was not ready for that.
Alright, so Chunk is one of the sort of stalker enemies that you get, that you have to deal with. And as Grace, he is gonna be extremely annoying. He's gonna be in your way, and Camu has to grab a couple items here, but once outside here, he's gonna intentionally take that hit because he wants to be pushed forward. He's gonna stand in the extremely specific spot here, and it's very precise because he has to make sure he moves as he charges. And just like that, if he moves just before Chunk starts charging, he has just the right amount of window to be able to dodge his charge attack and get away. And he has to do this multiple times.
So yeah, this is probably one of the hardest skips to do because Chunk has that RNG of doing various attacks. You go close to you, you can start charging from afar. So a lot of my reactions and a lot of other top runners' reactions is you have to just have that 5 ms reaction time, whatever he's doing.
Don't worry. Well, we have our ways trademark to deal
More
with chunk.
More chunk. Huh?
Yeah. So one thing to note also in this route is in the early days of here's the second one. In the early days of this route, we dealt with a chunk using nice dodge.
That's actually really cool. That was really close.
Yeah. we dealt with chunk using, I believe, a specific item called the hemo injector.
Yeah.
And I believe 2 of them would deal with him. But here we're gonna do it an alternate way, and it's actually, fun fact, tied to a Steam achievement. And so he threw that bottle there, specific bottle in that location, because Chunk is gonna chase you to that door, but this is also going to lure in the zombies, and those zombies are not very angry that Chunk is causing trouble, so they're gonna bop Chunk here, and coincidentally kill poor Chunk, so rip him pepperoni's poor Chunk.
Oh, seven's in the chat for that guy.
And that throw is extremely important. It's noted that the IV drip patient, his placement is random in the room, so pretty much as soon as you enter the room, you have to know from where and when you're gonna throw it. Because if you throw it too early, he's not gonna hit Chunk appropriately. If you throw it too late, Chunk's gonna leave at that point. So, yeah, I'm glad that actually worked out first try. That was probably really bad RNG on where he was, but it worked out. Yeah. So how that conceptually works is because it's insanity. Bait this guy. Because it's insanity. We die easily, but that mostly means it's because zombies hit hard, you know? So the reason why Chunk is able to die is because, you know, zombies hit hard. So when a zombie hits another zombie, you die. It works out for us that everyone hits hard. Well, everyone except for me, apparently, in this as race. Yeah, we're gonna pick up a wrench there.
Genuinely, I can't get over the fact that Leon saw this poor, like, FBI analyst, clearly out of her depth, on the brink of an anxiety attack, gave her a gun with 1 bullet in it. Homie.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Grace is very introverted. You can tell she's not very used to being on the field. And, yeah, you kind of do feel bad for her, but obviously, it being a horror survivor, you know, she kind of just grows. Inexplicably over the next 2 hours. But anyway, jump scare per usual. This giant tractor is scripted to come all the way to you, so we're gonna use that to get some ammo.
It really is a terrible Friday office day for Grace. The worst.
Kill him right here.
So fun fact, fun fact, you generally have to kill the dude in the tractor, but on Insanity, there's that additional thing that you have to hit under.
And you can tell Capcom put a lot of work into Insanity because Grace actually has an additional voice line in Insanity. Why is it still moving? Because on the other difficulties, as soon as you kill the guy, the tractor stops and whatnot. But on Insanity, you have to break the floor. We're going to take a very specific line here. And if you guys remember about a minute ago, the moment we entered East Wing, there are zombies continuously moving through the hospital. So you have an actual 3-second window to get to a place so a zombie doesn't aggro because the chef is also patrolling here. So that 3-second window allows you to dodge the chef and the zombie on patrol. Hopefully we got those 3 seconds.
3 seconds is all Grace needs, as Albert Wesker says. I only learned about that line because I walked into an Ari stream and everyone made meme jokes about Albert Wesker, and I was like, where did that come from? And everyone explained. I was like, oh, okay, I see.
7 minutes. 7 minutes is all I need. So we did get it because normally either the chef would be in the way to the freezer or the zombie right there would be in the way to the freezer. So we did actually land that margin of 3 seconds. Crazy. Shoot him in the leg because getting bitten by a zombie is bad. We're going to shoot this guy in the leg twice. Stagger. Because getting bitten is bad. We're going to go quick enough here. We are kind of low on bullets, so I'm kind of just trying to dodge this one. Ooh. Anyway. And we're going to make one more save before we get to the final part. And as you recall, what the main objective of leaving this place was getting 3 quartz. We have 2 of them. So we're on our way to get the 3rd quartz, but the 3rd quartz is unfortunately behind an ID3 level door. And if you kind of been paying attention, you have noticed we've gone ID1, so we need to upgrade it twice. If you recall the surgery room I passed earlier, the patient on the table has ID band 2. Actually, thankfully I actually remembered this. There's another charm we're gonna have to pick up, which is the knife charm. But Sanjan, do you kind of, I guess we didn't talk about this route, but you kind of want to explain what the rip knife route is?
Sure, I can. So the rip knife. So I had mentioned this earlier. In the early stages, one of the more safer routes was using the hemolytic injector to take care of Chunk. But as people started coming in and optimizing it, they figured out a route that just uses the rip knife. So the rip knife is a fancy knife that you saw Camu get earlier, and a lot of this speedrun comes into play, especially in terms of handling inventory management, because in this speedrun you have a very limited and small inventory and you're insanity, so generally you don't see Camu picking up any heals. So the really convenient thing about rip knife, as well as you do a decent damage to the zombies that you do have to kill, and the rip knife, when you start using it to kill the zombies you need, it very conveniently uses up all the durability that you need to be able to fit in other items.
Yes, exactly. So on top of that, rip knife, this is actually one of the few Resident Evils where there are multiple routes that are considered good. Rip knife is obviously the fastest, but it is also the most dangerous because you're not one-shotting people with a injector. You're actually knifing them as you're fighting them. Did they get aggroed? They did, right?
Yeah.
Need them to aggro. Okay. They didn't make the growl sound, so I was kind of worried. But yeah, this is actually one of the only Resident Evils where multiple different multiple routes are acceptable, because a lot of runners who do run Insanity do not run Rip Knife, because this is one of those extremely precise. Every knife attack you do matters. If you over knife, you're gonna lose the durability to not
Are you
kill
gonna
the
make an
enemy you
autosave?
need.
Or sorry,
Yeah,
a
I'm gonna
quick
do it
save?
after this.
Gotcha. Yeah, so story-wise, we need to get the last quartz, but Grace can't read it because it's in Braille. So yeah, don't forget the.
I'm gonna pick up one more save just to be safe.
The buttons in this order. Star, star, moon, sun.
So yeah, all the zombies that we did not kill are still active while I'm holding this lovely patient here. We cannot fight, so we must get to that Braille spot through all those zombies. It's
Can I ask what's going on with the little girl with the very white hair?
okay. So this is Emily. Emily is a patient here at the hospital. You just kind of get introduced to her when you like get stuck here. We don't know what the deal is with her, but there's some kind of like sisterly bond. You know, you just see a girl locked in a prison cell. You want to help them out. But yeah, this last puzzle is in Braille, and because Emily herself is blind, Grace has the brilliant idea of taking. It is unfortunate. Luckily, Skull Charm activated there. Normally, you'd be dead.
Don't worry, it's okay.
And you got safety items, right?
Yeah. Surely. Surely. Yeah. So we're gonna take it to the slash machine to read Braille. This is a cabin section for Grace, and what we mean by cabin is you have to kill every enemy to proceed. So this is actually technically one of the harder spots in the game because you need to do very precise knife slashes. So I'm gonna kind of focus on that and take over for a little bit.
Yep. So Camo is gonna precisely push the zombie to the other zombie so that he can collateral hit both of them. Gonna stab the zombie here and then stagger the zombie down and then take care of this zombie with the rest of his ammo here. So he has to kill a total of 4 zombies to go through this entire sequence of protecting Emily, I believe.
Yep.
And that went pretty well, so...
So
I
that
believe-
while we're waiting, this is a time section. It's timed until after you kill the last zombie. But we're gonna enter. You don't get to see it, hopefully, because if you see it, that means they're aggro to me. Okay, good. So there's a morph. Zombies can morph in all the Resident Evil games to a stronger version of themselves. Resident Evil 1 had Crimson Heads. Resident Evil 4 had Plagas. These are called Blister Heads. I was going to say, they have a one-shot kill attack, but then I realized, actually, those things just kill you in one shot in this difficulty anyway. But they have a giant bubble / blister for their head. If you kind of think of The Last of Us, it's kind of very similar to The Last of Us, like Flickers, I think they're called, designs, something like that.
Yeah, you absolutely don't want to be dealing with blister heads as Grace, because in the speedrun, you already have so little things. But also, hey, Leon.
Hey, Leon.
Oh my gosh,
I'd up in
Leon,
it.
hi!
I'd up in the chair. I know a lot of people
Leon,
would have this fantasy, so.
Leon, my Blorbo.
Anyway, first boss of the game as Leon Kennedy. We're going to be fighting Chunk's brother, Chunk. They're both called Chunk. We're going to stand an appropriate distance away with the shotgun. We're going to blast him in the face. 1, 2, 3, 4 goes down. We're going to put 2 more. The reason why we're going to reload at 1 shell remaining in the shotgun is because if you have 1 shell remaining in the shotgun, Leon will reload 2 shells at a time. If you go all the way to 0, Leon will only reload 1 shell at a time. So...
I also wanted to mention ammo preservation is very important as Leon, because you have a limited amount of ammo, and the shotgun is the primary source of damage.
So if chat, you're all thinking, wow, that looked really easy. What is this guy talking about? Well, if I was 1 foot further back or 1 foot further forward, I would be doing 20% of that. So a lot of the hard stuff, I would say one of the harder stuffs that if you want to run this long term is you just kind of have to know what to keep your distances. And I believe it's like 7-8 feet or actually maybe 10 feet. So it's about 3-4 meters where you want to be. All right, so fun fact, as Leon, this whole care center section, you can actually just go through all of it and kill every zombie you didn't kill during this section. But because this is a speed run, we're going to ignore everyone. The singer has a scream attack that slows us down, so we're going to hit this auto checkpoint. Reset, because this resets our aggro and position. We're going to have a zombie waiting for us at the top of the stairs. Very big red explosive barrel, but he's slow, so we just run by him. Blows himself up. 07. Now a very fun cabin section. A lot of blister heads. So Sanjan, do you want to kind of explain how we kill these blister heads effectively? You know, with the execute.
So blister heads have a truckload of HP that, of course, Leon does not want to deal with. So a lot of the keys to quickly defeating a blisterborn is making use of executes here. So Camu is going to intentionally injure or hit the blisterborn in the legs to stagger them, and with that he is able to perform an execute on the blister and basically just insta-kill them.
As normally it'd be about 7-8 shotgun shells, even at the appropriate length, but yeah. So the reason we hit the switch before the combat is because the elevator is timed, and if we're clean about it, that was relatively clean, the elevator door is going to open right here as soon as we beat the mobs. So there we go, pretty clean.
And since we have a moment here before we get to more plot content, Blackheart Wings, you have something for us.
Well, I would just like to remind everybody that we are only 8 subs away. We are still 8 subs away from hitting our goal of 100 subs in order to unlock the good ending. And again, subs are 35% off, so the more subs you get, the better the discount. You could get 10 subs and bring us a little bit over, and you would still get that discount. Could be neat. But also, I do want to point out, this is like listening to Leon go through like his entire section and then watching Grace go through her entire section. Leon is really like, it's just another day at the office. And Grace is fighting for her life. This poor girl.
Yes. So that's why in the first half of the game, you're going to notice Grace sections are slightly longer than Leon's sections. Because, you know, Leon, we have the full capability of fighting. We're going to kill that one zombie in particular because he's annoying. And he didn't refill the coffee filter at work yesterday. And we're going to... So this is the basement area. So the main goal of the basement area is to collect 3 of these plugs. What has happened at this point is Emily has unlocked the puzzle for the final quartz piece from Marie, kidnaps her and places her in a jail cell. So to power up the jail cells, we need to collect 3 plugs. Essentially, from a gameplay perspective, is you use 1 plug to collect 2 plugs, and then you go to a 2-plug area to get the 3rd plug. A lot of back and tracking. So on top of the regular zombies in this area, we're gonna have Marie, our favorite zombie that one-shots. So
Yeah,
you thought getting pressured by zombies was bad. Now you got an unkillable killer behind you. And we have the SRT, so we actually know how much HP she has. She actually has 100 million HP. She is not meant, therefore not meant to be killed.
Yeah, Marie is another one of those stalker type enemies that you deal with.
You know, I wasn't sure if that you were being hyperbolic or not, but there is literally a counter in the top left corner that shows how much HP she has.
You could fire 100 rocket launchers at her and she will not die. She's meant to be an unkillable second.
She's just built different for real, but she does have that weakness.
Light. But because it's a speedrun, we're not going to be utilizing that weakness. However, very cool jump scare happening right here. Marie's going to jump in front of us. But because safe rooms are safe heavens that enemies do not track you in, we're going to actually dip into the safe room right here. And Marie's AI says, oh, well, they're in the safe room. I can't get them. Run by her right there. So we got one last zombie.
A lot of RE speedruns rely on AI manipulation and positioning. Nice.
Oh, I don't need this knife anymore. I underused it once, which is convenient. But works for me. This guy's contemplating his existence, so we're just gonna push him, tell him to get a grip.
That's 2.
Now that we have 2 joint plugs. Killed the zombie, right? Okay.
Yeah.
The audio design was kind of weird. I heard it like closer to... Anyway, perfect. The reason I'm checking my inventory is because we actually did find a new skip earlier here. First, this zombie's in the way, so we're gonna need to bait him. Sure. These 2 plugs in. We're gonna take a grab here on purpose. That puts us in caution. 3 times apparently. 3 times apparently.
He's
4 times apparently.
He is out to get you today.
He's out to get you.
You cannot die to a push. You cannot die to a push attack.
Yeah,
that was actually the funniest thing.
One big thing is when a zombie grabs you by the arm, you take less damage than a zombie biting you, because when he grabs you by the arm, you can escape. Grace can escape, but when you're grabbed by the front or back, you know you're gonna get bitten. So this danger HP is intentional.
Yes.
Because he is going to be doing a very new but also very huge skip that was recently found.
We're gonna grab this extra emergency pouch in case we do need extra heals. And all right, we are going to do this new trick. Might as well make a save here. I mean, I don't realistically think I need it, but obviously we don't want to start at the beginning of the basement. So what we're going to do here is is we're going to climb this ladder and not move. We're just going to look at a very specific spot. We're going to change the camera, and Sanjan, take it away.
All right, so you'll notice. So you'll notice here, Grace is acting like she's at a Linkin Park or your favorite metal band concert. She's rocking out to the music. So
Got a hell of a headbang going on here.
So how this works is when after you climb up a ladder or deal with the switch, you're in a state where you can't move, but you can still crouch to gain momentum. So what he's trying to do here is skip to the other area here, and we're gonna go out of bounds. And so normally in the speedrun, you'd have to kind of drain the water from here and go down and deal with a bunch of zombies and enemies in the moving sort of escalator thing. And that part is really scary, but we are going to skip a lot of that. So actually, when this glitch was found, it made a lot of the basement section for Grace a lot easier, because especially with the combined with the rip knife, without the skip, it would make the basement even more precise. So he's gonna change here to first
and like
person.
Sanjan said, there was a section on like a conveyor belt where we actually do have to fight like 8 zombies. It's, if you couldn't tell, fighting zombies in this difficulty is very difficult.
Especially as Grace.
Look at her go. Her wiggles been killing me.
I love how you could call it the wiggles. Yeah, this glitch is called the crouch skip. There's another name for it, but that's a little too unhinged.
It's wiggles now. I make the rules.
the wiggle skip.
I call it the crouch tech. So.
Oh my god, we could have put, yeah, you could definitely put Linkin Park music, especially because Grace would jam to Linkin Park music. Let's be real, she's been through a lot.
You know, canonically, she is a Redditor because in the intro, she is on Reddit while her mother's getting killed. Yeah. Welcome to Resident Evil, everyone.
Truly the video game series of all
she is
time.
canonically she is a Redditor though.
What an icon. I love we've definitely got some Linkin Park lyrics in chat. Chat, let us know what you think she's listening to while she's headbanging away. Clearly Linkin Park, but any other ideas?
You could do it, Gracie. You're making it out of the mosh pit.
Yeah, so it's important that we're moving forward, but we're not doing any actions. The moment you do any actions, you will be teleported back where you were. But because this is another switch, the game detects that, oh, you're here now, huh? So at this point, this skips half of the basement because, like I said, you would have to fight a bunch of new zombies. There is an extremely hard Murray skip as well. And first person.
Right, I also forgot to mention we primarily play in the first person, though we do switch to third person every now and then. I'll explain that. And that's because in third person, you move slower.
Well, the lines aren't as tight.
Yeah.
Like in first person, the lines are tight.
Because there is like a recommended perspective for each of the characters, right? There's like a suggested one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the general suggested one is first person for Grace and third person for Leon.
Mm-hmm. No slot. Yeah, because Grace is meant to be Grace is meant to be a more horror survivor. But because we skipped the whole thing, you're gonna see this zombie just teleport in like that. Because, you know, we were in an area we were not technically supposed to be in yet. Get out of the way, zombie. Thank you very much. Instead of doing the half the basement normally, we will be leaving with Emily at this point. So. is the basement.
Hold on tight. I'm scared.
If you get unlucky here as well, you can get grabbed by any of these zombies if they decide to just turbo because they hate me.
I believe another reason why you do first person is in third person they're more likely to glue to you from 100 miles away.
Yeah, some sort of weird magnetization. It's kind of a very nerdy gaming term, but if you guys know what I mean, you'll know what I mean. But attack sometimes the grabs magneting is really bad in this game. Like, no, it feels kind of bad. But anyway, that's the basement. That's the end of Marie. We will not be seeing her anymore. Emily, stop being so scared. We're out of here. And after this, we're going to escape out of the care center. We're going to go home, and everyone lived happily ever after. The run ends in 10 minutes.
That's good.
And everything is fine, and nothing bad happened to Leon Kennedy.
It's true.
They all escape and live a happy life after. Well, I don't know about Leon, but
it is a Resident Evil game.
You know, headcanon. Only my headcanon matters.
So normally in this section, you're gonna have to shoot Marie a bunch of times to stun her before she grabs you, but because we're right at the door, we're actually able to do the quick time event before she's able to damage you, which in this difficulty just kills you flat out. So I think the devs intended for you to do that. We get our third piece right here. We're gonna make a quick stop at the item box because we don't have the slots. We're gonna pick up the other quartzes and the requiem with 0 ammo and leave the care center. Do we not take that?
Yeah, and this inventory here. Oh no, there's still one more section to go with Grace, but
Yeah.
in the speed run, how much heals you ideally just never want to take damage with Grace because you are surviving on very little amount of supplies, and up until the end of the game even.
Yep. Grace is one of those sections where even if you get through a section, let's say you do the care center and you get out of the basement just barely with like less handgun ammo than you should, like I do right now. Yeah, the later sections of the game are going to be a little bit rougher.
We're not gonna worry about it. Everything will be fine.
That's going to be a 5-minute from now Camus problem and a 40-minute from now. So yeah. Anyway, we find a nameless NPC who's a helicopter pilot. Apparently, he left his helicopter keys at the bottom of this blood research laboratory, and he says, "Why don't you go get it? You have a gun." And people say chivalry is dead nowadays.
Hey, I
Wine bottle
recognize
is a-
this wine bottle. That's familiar.
Just let it be in here.
And essentially, this section is how many heals can you burn? Is essentially what it is. Ideally, we would only like to burn one. There is a scripted grab that ideally helps us out, but you know, it's an evil requiem. I've said it before, but I'll say it again, maybe 1 or 2 more times, or 3 or 4 more times. Every split, every section, you can die and lose the run. You see all these bodies with a bunch of zombies in them. In a perfect game, none of these guys would come to life. But you know, it's
Resident Evil.
It's Resident Evil. How many people you see in these tanks? Yep. So getting the helicopter key is incredibly easy. Escaping with the helicopter key is another story altogether.
Are we gonna do your favorite Gamba still?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we gotta. I'll explain that when we get to that. Yes, Sino, that's correct. Make a quick save here because we don't want to start all the way in the basement. If we die here potentially. We're gonna do our best to dodge every zombie possible except for one scripted grab at the end. If not, unlucky. What can you do?
Oh, that's
Not
so
what can
many
you do.
zombies. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh,
Clean, huh?
it's an unlucky day at the basement.
Well, that first grab was unlucky, but I did.
Oh yeah, the second one was scripted.
Yeah, or the bite was scripted. Or yeah, the bite on the ground was scripted. But
Yeah.
as you can see there, we did like a cute little 180 or 360 to dodge that zombie's grab. So that went well. We're gonna switch to third person here because if you could see Grace right now, this is the normal movement speed of Grace, whether or not she's in first person or in third person. There are some sections of the game where Grace will enter a panic run that is much faster, and she will only do this in first person. Bad news is that she will sometimes stumble. So this is the normal movement speed, and this is her running speed right here.
Hey, what in the shining is going on here?
Yeah. Well, it is a blood research lab, so you know there's blood at blood research labs.
You
so
know, I
didn't
guess
get the
so.
stumble.
Oh my.
Do that cute little dodge there, and that's one of the stumbles I was talking about earlier.
Oh, this is so bad. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, by the way, sorry guys. Blood gore warning ahead of time for this whole game. Actually, thank you for reminding me. There is one more warning I gotta be on.
Yeah, I got you on that one.
Why does this shit keep happening?
It's true, Grace. Also, watch your language, Grace. We got one more zombie. Normally we'd shoot him, but I am running very low on handgun ammo, so I'm gonna do my best to take this line as wide as possible. Does he eat my
Nice.
toe? Nope. You could actually bite your toe in the middle of that action, which doesn't slow you down, it just lowers your HP. Kind of silly. Anyway, Grace gets on the helicopter with Emily, unnamed pilot, and all three of them escape together. Life is good. Just kidding, the helicopter crashes right over there.
Sherry.
A bunch of zombies are swarming Grace. If only there was a specific weapon
Yeah.
that could shoot precisely from several hundred feet away.
She's connected to this somehow.
Oh, if only we could find such a specialized weapon somewhere.
That's true. In Insanity, however, because they say we're not giving it to you for free, we gotta buy it. Buy the sniper rifle and the SMG. We're gonna do one quick we're gonna do buy the scope for free, we're gonna do one quick damage upgrade, and we're gonna put just a connoisseur charm on it. This just adds damage. It's a consistent charm. Anyway, what we're gonna do to start the whole segment is we're gonna shoot this red explosive barrel. We're gonna shoot pretty much to pre-snipe every zombie before they come alive. And we have to be very deliberate with our ammo. To get this perfect, you cannot miss a shot, so needless to say, how much Leon sways. Not a lot of people nail this perfect, so we're gonna do our best not to miss.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, thankfully though, all these zombie spawns are static, so he knows exactly where to shoot.
They do
Chat.
move erratically though, so that is where the usually comes from.
While you are shooting away, I would like to petition to chat. Grace is in the Torment Nexus. I think that she deserves the good ending and she deserves to exit the Torment Nexus. So if we can get those last 8 subs before the end of this run and free poor Grace from the Torment Nexus, I think that would be the best way to end this weekend.
So we're not going to actually reload our sniper rifle here, and I'll kind of explain why. My favorite line of Leon coming up with his classic one-liners.
Excuse me.
There we go. And we're going to head to our second boss of the game, Blisterborn. Sanjan, do you want to describe a Blisterborn?
Yeah, so Blisterborn is a sort of super Blisterborn that you have to fight. It's a very precise fight. There's been a couple changes in the route, so... So Cabo's going to do these series of shots. You see the 4 little blisters on its body.
Shotgun didn't fire for some reason.
So this fight is very precise. No, she's fine, Bill.
I'm stressed.
She got impaled. No, she got impaled by the helicopter or something like that as it was crashing.
Yeah, so he's gonna quickly shoot all 4 of those little blood boils down. So it dies. The SMG does really good damage to those, so that's why he was able to make quick work of it. And in the meantime, he's going to... There's a bunch of blister zombies around here, so you saw he went in and grabbed and used an axe on them to quickly handle them. And that also gives you iframes in case you weren't able to kill the blister in time and you need a moment. Very smooth, pretty smooth fight.
Well, like, for some reason, the shotgun, I had to reset
Yeah,
it.
aside from the shoddy being rude to you.
Yeah.
There's got to be a way to get to the surface.
If it looked easy, I'm happy because my job is, you know, whenever you see a speedrun, if it looks easy, you know, the runner did their jobs. If it looked difficult, well, I'm not doing my job very well. But anyway, we got one more section as Grace before the final Grace section at the very end of the game. Emily is injured. Grace has gone on ahead of Leon, and we kind of need to, I don't know, put her down, find some first aids and whatnot, and we need to get out of here. So from this point on, since this is Resident Evil 9, most levels and most enemies and most bosses are going to be a love letter to all the previous Resident Evil. Save here. For those of you who have played Resident Evil 0, this whole level is a love letter to Resident Evil 0. To get out of here, we need to activate 3 switches to let the sun in, which is very similar to what you had to do for the Leech Queen in Resident Evil 0. And then you might be thinking, well, why do we need to let the sun in? What specific enemy is weak to the sun? Well, there was one enemy.
Let me know what enemy it was in chat. Wrong answers only.
We're gonna bait a grab right here. We're gonna do a very specific manip. We need to be really quick on grabbing this switch. Then we need to hug the bookcase right away as well, because her AI detects that since we are technically on the bookcase, that she cannot beeline straight to us, so she will go around the long way. We're gonna wait a second here because we need her to get stunned at a very specific spot. This spot is crucial for your run, otherwise you will have to reset the section. And what this does is, in casual, normal gameplay, Marie is supposed to follow you on every switch. She's supposed to spawn at every switch. But for some reason, when you hit her in that exact spot, her AI just shuts off until the last switch. So normally she'd be popping up next to us. You'd have to stun her, shoot her, or get her with lights. But now, because we did that manip, we have the full section 3, which is very important for the Requiem, because Grace is going to give the Requiem back to Leon. And unlike Leon, who's not a nice guy, Grace is a very nice lady. She's going to give whatever ammo you have of the Requiem left, you will have it as Leon. This is the last switch right here. Marie's going to spawn. I'm going to shoot her twice. I apparently missed one, so I am down 1.
Power has been successfully restored.
What do you use the Reaper for Leon? For the Leon section. The 2 ammo.
Gas station. No, it's fine. I'm good on that.
Yeah. I was thinking you replaced that from the gas station with more axe hits. You really had needed.
No. Arc Leon is going to have a little bit more of a fun time, I'll just say. Anyway, now that apparently one of those shots missed because of Bloom, I am down 1 ammo, which isn't the worst thing at the end of the world. Not ideal.
Get out of the fuck. Come on.
Lights are open, and that was the Marie boss fight, quote unquote. Marie melts to the sun, and we have to go save Emily. But if it wasn't obvious, Marie and Emily are the exact same prototypes of weapons. This is Emily.
So
there is an auto aim system right here.
The funny thing is the game has an auto aim system to try to prevent you from hitting Emily's vitals, which can be very annoying.
Yeah. At this point, Grace just says, "What the hell, Leon? I'm so sick of this game." And then she leaves with the bad guy. And gives us back our Requiem. So from now on, this is, I would say, the second half of the game. The majority of this game is Leon. It's a lot of fighting, a lot of combat. It's a lot of fun bosses too. But we're gonna do some quick weapon upgrades. And the reason why I didn't reload the shotgun and sniper is because, like in Resident Evil 4 OG, if you actually upgrade the ammo capacity slot, it'll just give you a full round of ammo. So that is why we didn't reload, and that's why we have also now a full clip of shotgun and sniper. We're gonna do a quick nip, dodge this guy. A very specific line so these guys don't grab us.
How are there still zombies in Raccoon City? It's been decades.
Now it's nothing but ash and memories.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, arachnophobia warning for the next 5 seconds. And this isn't small spider. This is big spider boss. For those of you with arachnophobia.
Yeah, the next boss will be a very scary looking spider. So if you're scared, if you have arachnophobia, please look away.
I'll give you guys 5 seconds to look away. Nope. Not anymore. I didn't know zombies could come through there. Anyway. Here we go. This boss is called the Titan Spinner. As you can see, its HP is 10,000. Outside of the arena, we can only do up till its HP is 8,000. So we're going to damage it while it is moving towards us to 8,000. Then we're going to delete the rest of his HP in the arena. You cannot do more damage to him than 8,000. So for instance, if I shoot him right here, didn't do any damage. Boss can only go to 8,000 out of 10,000. Shouldn't have used that sniper shot to make this point. I feel like I'm gonna get screwed over by one sniper bullet. That's a future problem, though.
That's a future you problem.
That is a future me problem. It's important to note, while Leon can't fight, there are a lot of attacks that will kill him in one hit, but Leon has the very cool ability to parry. So a very cool example of this parry is the spider's gonna come through the window, parry. And here we go, the Titan Spinner boss fight. We're gonna go around here with these shotgun ammo. We're gonna stand at keep fair distance from this spider. 4 shots. Reload. Shoot him once more around the corner. We're gonna wait for him to do an attack, so we're actually gonna wait half a second.
Haven't you had enough? I don't have pest control.
That is the Titan Spinner fight.
All right, arachnophobia warning over.
Yeah. That fight is very specific because that boss does have phases where she takes reduced damage, starts running away, and obviously you see me just use all my shotgun there. You do not want to be caught in a situation where you are reloading because she will be taking less damage at that point. Some bullets. I want to reload fully the shotgun. Leon's full HP. My pink axe that's totally not modded is in good condition.
Whose camp is this?
It's okay. Surely the banana is going to save the world.
True. True. We're going to interact with these two things because you just kind of needed to progress. We're just going to leave the shop right away. And at this point, we're going to be introduced to not only your stereotypical like zombies that are the remnants of raccoon cities, but because in this plot they have soldier zombies who also died here, we have zombies with guns. And if you're familiar with any Resident Evil where a zombie has a gun, those guys suck.
Great.
Yeah, one salvo kills you, so we're going to take a very specific line here. That causes one of the gun zombies to drop down, not bother us. We're going to climb up here, and deal with this one other gunner zombie. A lot of these zombies are spawning, so we need to be very quick and take a reasonably clean line here. Not get hit by any of them. You kind of hear the zombie that I meant to spawn below shooting and missing. And on insanity difficulty without body armor, we will die in one salvo. And of course, this is a speed run, so we don't have money or time to buy body armor. So if that puts in perspective, randomness of the Leon sections, I'm sure you can figure the rest out at this point. Oh,
The saving grace pun not intended about Leon sections is he does get a lot of autosaves.
Yeah, they should have. There should be a part for the detonator somewhere around.
But because I don't like Leon Scott Kennedy right now, I'm going to throw a grenade at this wall and then interact with this. What that actually does is Leon has his whole dialogue, but because he took some sort of stun status thing, that it actually skips the conversation. It saves you about 15 seconds there.
Relays over there, huh?
I can't believe you would intentionally put Leon Scott Kennedy in the Torment Nexus like that.
Got the location for those spots.
Anyway, at this point of the story, to get past a certain gate, we need to collect 3 parts of the detonator and a repair kit. You've got 1 part of it, and similar to Grace's sections, some parts come easily, some parts are a little bit longer. But here we go. Leon Scott Kennedy.
I guess it's Leon's turn in the Torment Nexus today.
Yeah, pretty much. All things considered, this run is actually going pretty smoothly. It was just the beginning, but because I also hate Leon, I'm not going to defend myself right here. Going to red. If this setup looks familiar, you're exactly right and know exactly what's going to happen. Normally, because this parking garage is locked behind 2 batteries and you need to go to 2 separate areas to get the batteries and fight another giant Blisterborn at the same time. Luckily now, thanks to this new glitch, we could skip it. For those of you who said, wow, why did we only get to see Grace, dance? Well, now, all the Leon enjoyers.
Is it wiggle time? Are we gonna wiggle?
It is Leon's turn to dance.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh no, what is this camera angle? I could just look up, not show Leon's model, but...
I want Leon jam too.
Leon sounds like a 90s.
Definitely.
I could see Leon listening to like Avril Lavigne's Skater Boy or something.
Break
Oh
it
my
down, white
God.
boy. Look at him go.
Leon's section is not rhythmic. Grace has a certain rhythm because her model's different, but you know what song is actually that I always listen to at that section that helps me keep beat? Man Eater by Nelly Furtado is on beat for the Grace skip.
Hey,
So,
that's a bop, actually.
it is
Yeah,
actually
that-
so good.
An unironic bop.
We're gonna hit the autosave because we can't technically move, but what we can do is load the autosave, in which the game says, oh, you're already there. Congrats. Get past the gate. Emo's looking okay. Emo's exactly where we need to be, actually. All right, here, we're gonna do a very cool manip. It doesn't look out. Okay, so kind of explain the manip before I go do it. We're gonna shoot a zombie in the leg with the requiem, which is gonna stagger him for a very long time. This is going to trick the game into thinking that we are in combat outside the front of the gas station. So it will, when we come back to the front of the gas station to actually do the combat, we will not be spawning extra enemies, just maybe half the enemies that you would face when normally doing the section. That makes sense. So normally you'd have a bunch of chainsaw zombies spawning. Because the game thinks that we're in combat outside, we just killed this dude. And then just start fighting half the zombies we would normally would. Up here. 2 headshots per zombie.
I believe we still have 8 Subarus to go to get Grace and Leon out of the Torment Nexus.
Correct. And just to remind everybody, we do have that 35% off gift subs. So, if you would like to gift a sub to anybody, let me double check and make sure that they also apply to your own subscription as well. But 35% off gift subs, so if you would like to gift subs to any of our friendly viewers in chat, 35% off. And that is good only for tonight. You don't want to hesitate on using that, and we are so close to getting that good ending.
So that was a mini boss right there, but what we do is, because where we know he spawns, we shoot him in the leg once before he realizes we're not in a stealth state. So you're able to see that I'm able to push him back into a platform and execute him. Normally he is a mini boss, he has a lot of HP. But there are a lot of cool ways to manipulate the AI, especially for a lot of stronger enemies, in which the game thinks, oh, you're in stealth, you should be able to execute them, which is what we did to that mini boss.
This was a very long and arduous process just to get feel in that generator. I have to say, and just like a Resident Evil game.
So, this is a section we call mortars. I will explain mortars. There's not a lot to explain, Sanjan. If you want to add more, go ahead. If you thought an area with just zombies with guns was bad, now imagine they have mortars that one-shot you, and the mortars pattern are random. So, Sanjan, if you want to elaborate any more on that.
Yeah, so plot-wise, these zombies were part of... They were part of VSA, and then they got zombified because one of the villains came in and, did a whole bunch of stuff. So now they're armed with mortars. These mortars are pretty orangey. And yeah, they're smart enough to use mortars somehow, but alas.
So while I enjoy this RNG fest, I think someone donated in chat.
Yeah, absolutely. Canadian Rage Bear has just gifted 10 community subs in chat, and that means that we are at 102 out of our required 100 to meet our good ending incentive. Thank you so much. You love to see it. And you know what this means? That both Grace and Leon get to exit the Torment Nexus. Thank you!
You already tell what the cycle is. This is not an ideal cycle to be on in a marathon, but it is. I don't want to get stunned.
And the big factor is that the zombies can shoot you, and you have to manage stuns because those mortars can stun you, and when you're locked in versus zombies with guns, it's going to be a very, very bad time. And so Camu is just genuinely trying to... Oh my goodness. Oh, that was scary.
Mortars.
Yeah, ideally you don't want to get hit by any mortars so that you can quickly get there. Yeah.
It's random. Obviously, a sane person would kill everyone shooting the mortars, but because RE speedrunners are not the most well-adjusted people, just decide to run. Right. That was, for how bad the starting cycle of mortars was, that actually was not that bad. I only burned through 3 heals, you know? So, like I said, future avukamu problem. Man, future avukamu was actually so screwed. Tragic.
It's okay, I believe. We got Leon out of the Torment Nexus. He'll be fine.
Leon's down 1 requiem ammo and ideally 3 heals. So this is gonna be a very fun time.
Watch your back.
So yeah, now that we have 2 of the pieces, we're gonna go get the repair kit. Luckily, this is the base camp of where we started. The repair kit is right here. So avukamu, why didn't you grab this on the way in? It's because we didn't have the key, and you get the key right before the gas. Have the repair kit. One more part to get before we leave Raccoon City, and this is kind of like the last very survival horror-y fetch section of get key item to access another key item. After this, it's essentially just a boss rush to the end of the game. A lot of horror, and there's one like final horror puzzle section. But after this, it picks up, I promise. Well, for me, this is still adrenaline-inducing because, you know, I don't want to die. But so far, not dying in Raccoon City is actually pretty good. I don't think we died, did we?
No, we have not.
We definitely didn't die. Yeah, you're good.
That the
You're
closest-
great. Even
The closest the mortar section was was a little scary, but Leon made it through.
This is definitely one of those games. There are a lot of speedruns like this. I think especially for RPG Sanjan, where the more you play it, the more you know how to deal with the bad situations when they come up, because it's a pattern that's not, while it's not ideal, it's a pattern that you kind of recognize what you should do to compensate for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm having watched plenty of RE speedruns. It's not the best way to learn is to just throw yourselves in there and deal with situations. Trademark. This game loves
Words to live by.
This game really loves to put baby girl Leon in situations.
Yeah. This is also probably one of the most reset heavy speedruns I've done. I have actually looked at my stats. I have 1,200 something attempts. I have only 4 completed runs. Yeah. One of those games. Definitely one of those games. As Sanjan described earlier, whereas grace sections are more oppressive, just outright oppressive, where zombie grabs you, you're dead. Leon sections aren't as oppressive in a more direct way. But as you can see, I had to spend more heals and more ammo than I needed to. So it's those later Leon sections that are a lot more volatile for me at this point. So Leon is one of those things. Leon is one of those sections where you just kind of have to consistently play well to make sure that your whole experience is pretty good. Cool level design, you know, since the skyscraper is upside down, we're gonna blow these guys up. Right under here.
I was gonna ask, are those zombie BSAA agents?
Yep, they are.
Gosh. I guess it makes sense that they've like survived this long with all of the armor that they've got, but goodness gracious.
If you recall the end of Resident Evil 8, Chris found a zombie BSAA zombie, like when he was saving Ethan and whatnot. You know, a lot of people dismiss that plot, but here we go. BSAA zombies.
They'll make zombies of just about anyone and anything. Yeah. They have the technology.
It's actually really funny too. There's like a side area that we won't go into. They actually have a kind of an auction site where people can bid on whatever bioweapon you want in this game. So they actually have prices for all these like zombies. Here's another, just hopefully you don't get grabbed section, because it's your typical, if you get grabbed, you miss the cycle, and then enemies start hitting you, and then Leon S. Kennedy is Leon Dead Kennedy. So, a couple of dodges here. Much like the other guy with the barrels, they throw it really slow, so we can just run by him. He blows himself up. Take this little shortcut. Don't swing your hammer at me. Take the slide down. Now that we got all the pieces for the detonator, but we can't go back the way we came, we actually have to go forward. And as you can see, this lift in front of us, we're going to have to activate both sides of the lift and then take it down. So that's one half of this level done. This next part is a little bit coin flippy in terms of running past enemies. I'm going to do the line as best as we can. There's a zombie to our left that missed us. We're going to go wide line here. This guy's still waking up, so we're good. Zombies facing towards us, so we do have to shoot him to blow these zombies up preemptively. Zombie's still alive. Not a big deal. Chainsaw enemy who's turned around, so a little bit of luck there. Some ammo from these crates, and then we're gonna lower the lift on this side. And there we go. This section. And we're gonna take the lift down, and on the lift is a forced combat section. It is timed. Just a quick inventory here. This is all the inventory we're gonna do for the rest of the run.
It still works.
We're gonna do a very cool trick here, and it's called look up. And how this works is because the lines of the lift are so thin, and Leon's model is looking up, and with the gun kind of, I don't know, his model, the game detects that his model is actually outside of the lift. If we're holding, as you can tell, we're kind of just aiming up to the sky as high as we can and holding back. Since the game thinks that we're also kind of out of bounds, the zombies that we're supposed to fight also they assume we're out of bounds. You could get a little bit unlucky if a zombie comes up right next to you. You know, the magnet detection system will make it grab you. But because this is timed, we don't want to waste bullets or HP or resources. We're just going to be looking up for a little bit. Zombies essentially are just saying, "Where'd he go?" at this point.
Me, when I look up and I dodge zombies left, right, and center. Surely if I don't look at them, they won't look at me. That's a model to live by.
I cannot guarantee
If you
its
can't
success.
see them, they can't see you. That's definitely how this works.
I use this trick on really bad first dates as well. You know, like if the date goes really horribly, I just look up at the sky, and then, you know, my date usually says, "Huh? Where'd he go?" It usually works. So since this is timed, just relaxing, chilling. But this is the end of the Raccoon City section. The next section, if you guys remember me talking about most of the game, is a love letter to the previous Resident Evil. The next section is a love letter to Resident Evil 6. And if you're familiar with the franchise, Resident Evil 6 is a it's definitely one of the Resident Evils.
Resident Evil 6 is special, we'll say.
Very cinematic, very movie-like. Yeah, a lot of you might be asking, huh? You mean a love letter to Resident Evil 6? You know, what was so identifiable at Resident Evil 6, right? Well, let me show you guys. Coincidentally, this quote-unquote Resident Evil 6 split is the only split you never see people reset on.
Luckily, I found a bike. Should make up for lost time.
Great. You'll need it. It's 15 miles to the city.
Hold on.
That's because
hold on.
Capcom's love letter to Resident Evil 6.
Are we punching boulders? Is that what's going on?
No,
here?
that's 5. That's 5. That's 5.
Oh, my bad.
5 is a good game. 5 is a good game. This is the driving section. So,
Oh my gosh.
luckily,
Okay.
I don't have to drive, so my hands are off keyboard. You just have to shoot at giant things, whatever comes in your way.
Okay.
Alright.
So
Should
if
make
I
good
remember correctly, Raccoon City has been closed off for like at least 20 years now. That is an old bike.
Yeah.
Like, I know
was
he
their
repaired it
fuel,
and
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I get that. I saw that he repaired it and everything. However, I still would not trust that bike. Who is this man? What
Oh,
is
yes. We
yeah,
we should kind of miswrap. That is the
Yeah,
main antagonist
that's
of
the-
this game, Victor Gideon.
Yeah.
Anyway, these dogs don't have active HP pools until they're right alongside us, so that's why we're not preemptively shooting them. Yes, that is the big bad of the game, Victor Gideon. He is a former head of a research thing. The reason why he wants Grace is that her blood is special to a project called Elpis, which, quote-unquote, Elpis is the virus of this game. You know, Resident Evil 1 had T virus, Resident Evil 2 had G virus. The virus of this game is called Elpis, and Grace is the key to unlocking Elpis. He presents himself kind of as, like, not necessarily a villain, but more like an antagonist, if that makes sense, you know? He's not evil, per se, but he is, you know, the antagonist of the game.
Not
He may
evil,
not
but
be
he
evil.
has bad goals, TM.
He sucks.
He
He's trying to
tries-
shoot Leon.
We didn't see the cutscene very early on, but there's the very early cutscene when he first sees Leon, and he basically just like injects a bunch of people with the virus, and they turn into zombies.
Yeah. There's a common trend between Resident Evil villains. It's the whole, I'm not a bad guy. I just want humanity to evolve. You know, you guys are familiar with those kind of villains. that's kind of the same vein he's in.
So much for the director.
He has Grace kidnapped, so we need to chase after him. Luckily, I don't have to drive. We just have to shoot these conveniently placed red barrels in front of obstacles.
I remember when playing through RE6, I realized for these sections you have to drive and the other person shoot, and I was just like, this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, I think they learned from their mistakes. Luckily, we don't have to do any drive. We are just shoot. Another fun antagonist that was introduced, who is kind of like the twist of this game, is Zeno. Zeno is an Albert Wesker clone. So picture sexiness of Albert Wesker, but he's dressed in a white suit and white hair, sunglasses, everything.
Seriously,
And that is also another
I don't
antagonist.
give up that easy.
Two antagonists, Zeno and Victor Gideon.
This is not the first clone that Wesker has, right? Like, there's another one. Right?
He has a sister in one of the spin-off games, Revelations 2. Alexia Wesker, who's like his older sister that's never mentioned in that, unless it's in that one game. She's dead, but it's like the clone, but she's technically the clone of Wesker. There's not a lot of proper retcon in these
Resident Evil and Wesker really have like a fun little relationship because Wesker also has a son, right? Who has like a Cherry?
Yes,
Jake.
He's one of the playable characters in Resident Evil 6, Jake. Anyway, that's the final boss dead. He falls off his bike because we shot him once and he says, "Oh no!" And then he crashes into the depths, blows up. So now we only have Zeno. I know. I'm disappointed too. The same reason, I'm not reloading my guns except for the sniper because we're not going to be upgrading the capacity on that. For the shotgun and the submachine gun, I'm going to upgrade the capacity on those one more time. But one of my favorite and a lot of people's fan favorite Resident Evil 2. A lot of people I know recently, when COVID started, picked up Resident Evil 2 Remake, which was kind of the rebirth of the modernized series of this game. And so this location should be familiar to a lot of people. This is where you played Resident Evil 2. There are a lot of cool Easter eggs here. A lot of the puzzle solutions that are already done are from the B scenario. One quick upgrade here. We're gonna upgrade the shotgun's capacity so we get some more ammo. We're gonna upgrade the damage all the way on the submachine gun. Some light upgrades on the ammo capacity and reload speed, and that is our loadout. Next couple of bosses. There are so many Easter eggs here. Even though we're only here for 3 minutes in the speedrun. I remember my casual playthrough. There are so many things you could see. You could see memoirs of all the other characters. There's a scavenger hunt. You could see a giant blob of tofu. You could see the character Tofu.
Not the tofu.
Yeah. And how tofu works is that it was meant to be a placeholder for character models, but then they just loved it, so they just made a character named Tofu, who is literally a giant blob of tofu. But unfortunately, we will not get to see it here, but you might be able to see it at SGDQ. Captain Ezekiel, a very good friend and speedrunner of this game, will be performing a bid war between casual and insanity. And if I'm being honest, it's always insanity in my head. Captain Ezekiel will be playing this at SGDQ in July in Minneapolis live. A very good runner. I myself will not be running this game. I will be running The Evil Within 2 at SGDQ. So same horror block, same horror game, not this game. But anyway, welcome, Mr. X. I'm sure a lot of you recognize this fellow.
Mr. X is here. Hold on. What is he still here?
Oh, it's just a boss rush of previous bosses. So anyway, this is Mr. X, formerly known as Tyrant T501. And yeah, essentially what happens at this point of the story, Zeno tells Grace that she is a clone and she is the last remaining clone who has the blood to activate the Elpis virus. Leon says, "What the heck are you doing?" And then Zeno says, "I got an old buddy of you missed." Here's that buddy.
It really is a love letter to Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
What is ARC?
I geeked out I continuously geeked out from here to the rest of the game. I'm not gonna spoil anything for you guys, but I geeked out from here to the rest. But Mr. X is a very, very hard boss fight, but there is a fatal flaw in Mr. X's design, and I am going to exploit that fatal flaw in his design, which conveniently works out for the cute bear charm as well. It's a very precise fight, and very scary. Timing's off and distance is off, but let me explain it. So here's Mr. X taking off his clothes, becoming the super tyrant model. We're gonna run by him here, bait him into attacking that car. Lift the car up. Mr. X does not conceptually he has no spatial awareness of that there is a car between me and him. He's gonna phase, he's gonna do a jump attack, we're gonna knock him off this car. Reload. Remember, this model of virus costs 30 million to buy. However, he does not have the conceptual awareness that there is a car between me and him. Luckily, the car is the same length and or width of the cute bear charm. So there we go. That is the Mr. X fight. Strat develop the history of that fight was so bad. It tried to actually fight him, and oh my god, there's not much left of it. Wipes the floor with Leon. It is such a hard fight to do. But
I feel like when everyone was first routing Insanity, just like the hardest thing would be able to get past just like the bosses without charms, because all the bosses are basically damage sponges and take and have a gazillion HP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Quick arachnophobia warning, just like any of them on the ground. So first thing, I'll be done with this in 20 seconds. But yeah, so one of the charms we did look at was the cute bear charm. But it actually just said moderately increases damage from a very specific distance away. So we said, oh, that kind of sounds worthless. We're not going to use it. However, their definition of moderately increases damage is it's a 60% increase of damage. I don't know about you, but a 60% increase of damage is not moderately.
That's kind of hefty.
Yeah. It's one of those systems where even though a shotgun, you want to shoot them up close. So where I'm shooting the shotgun, normally it would do maybe 80%, 90% damage. Because it has the cute bear charm buff on it, it's still more than it would be, close. So you do lose a lot of the shotgun's natural damage from not being as close. And you gain exponentially more from being that certain distance.
Reminds me of the Riot shotgun in RE4.
That gun is the most broken gun in existence. Shotgun that shoots as far as a sniper rifle.
BSA left something behind.
Anyway, on to the next boss. Kind of see these vines. We kind of saw a glimpse at it. This boss might be a little less familiar to those of you who have not played some of the older Resident Evils. This is a tribute to Resident Evil 1. Resident Evil 1's boss, Plant 42. It is a giant monster plant. If you've seen Godzilla, just picture Biolante. I'm trying to think of other plant monsters, but that's the only one at the top of my head. But this is his brother, Plant 43. And the lore of Plant 43 is actually so incredibly funny and so incredibly stupid. So researchers gathered the seeds for Plant 42, and when Raccoon City was going to get nuked, a lot of people were trying to escape. Guy who had the seeds for Plant 42 actually just dropped the seeds on his way out, and that became Plant 42.
I see.
Couple of vines here. Hopefully we don't get hit. Ooh, nice. Dodge past these plants. We're gonna take a specific line, hide in this alcove for half a second. Because there's a gunner who one-shots us if we just go straight at him right away. Another gunner who comes around the corner. Perfect. You guys are kind of notice we do not have a lot of shotgun and sniper ammo, which have been the primary ammo of a lot of our bosses and enemies this run. So instead, that is why we upgraded the SMG. For some reason, on this boss in particular, the SMG does an extraordinary amount of damage. Crazy. Very simple to kind of explain, kind of hard to execute. But we're pretty much just sidestepping him during certain attacks.
Just so you know, I've killed every planet in the map.
Leon, please.
I had seen so many memes on various like social media websites and Tumblr about Leon, and I never understood until I started playing Resident Evil games, and I was just like, ah, I see. More one-liners than the amount of speedruns I've done.
Leon is your very stereotypical 90s male action hero.
He's so nonchalant about everything. It's incredibly funny.
That was Plant 42. Final section of the game. This is called Arc. If you know Resident Evils, every Resident Evil has to end in some sort of modern lab. Arc is this game's modern lab, inexplicably under the city this whole time. We're going to be introduced to a very new type of enemy here. Well, a couple of new types of enemies. The first type of enemy we're going to run into is the Call of Duty gamer. We're going to go against mercenaries who are just PvPing us at this point. Treat it like a COD lobby, but you have 1 HP. It is essentially what it is. So this section is a bit difficult. I'll kind of explain the other enemies as we run into them, but for now, yeah, Sanjan, take it away or whatever you got.
So once he focuses on this part, there's gonna be a couple friends that come out here. He's gonna try to shoot them right before. So there's like an animation of them coming out where he can just pretty much pre-shoot them, and if he gets that in time, he can take care of them. So this one's another precise one. He has to throw the Holy Hand Grenade, which is another fun mod here at a very specific spot here to take care of the four friends here. And thankfully he got all 4. If he didn't, he would have to go into cover and try to take care of the last one here. There's going to be...
Sorry, I had to show off the mod. Go ahead.
I wasn't ready for that.
So there's another set of BSAA soldiers here that he has to pre-shoot here.
Not BSA, these are mercenaries.
Yeah, mercenaries that he has to pre-shoot here. Very smooth section. This section can be extremely scary.
Why can't I do that in the middle of my PB? One last shop upgrade right here. We are going to upgrade. We're going to do a couple of things. We're going to actually buy some body armor. I know at the end of the game. Crazy, right? And we're going to upgrade our hatchet twice. And since this is a marathon, I want to be safe on shotgun ammo. I will just spend the remainder of the money on shotgun. And what we're going to do is we're going to reload right here. Sanjan, if you kind of just want to explain why I'm reloading there.
Yep, so he reloads his AI he reloads there to begin the manipulation for a specific boss here coming up. So he did that first reset. He's gonna do the second reset here in a moment as soon as he sees the autosave. And he's gonna switch to third person here.
Yep.
And restart his previous save here. And so this is going to be sort of difficult. It's going to be a difficult skip.
I'm going to mess it up once because I think I'm pretty underestimated. I love this cutscene. One of my favorite cutscenes, so I'm not going to pull the manip off. If you are familiar with Hunk from the DLCs of Resident Evil 2, this is Hunk. Casually, it's like a knife fight. If you play Resident Evil 4, OG or remake, it is similar to the Krauser knife fight.
Which
But
game was Hunk
says here,
from?
yeah, Hunk says a very
RE2.
cool line that I love right here. Just
What game is Hunk from again? RE2?
to, yep.
Leon Kennedy. We finally meet.
Anyway, I don't think I can do them. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so instead of knife fighting him, we're gonna do a very cool manip instead. I wonder if it works if I.
Yeah, so he's gonna try here to get so what he's doing is attempting to aim with, and this is near frame perfect. There's 1 or 2 frames that he has to do. So as you see there, he intentionally aims to mess up Hunk's AI here, so he can get the execute. So generally you have a long fight here where it's knife focus, and he kind of just like fills the area with smoke and everything, and it's a very annoying fight to do otherwise. But with that skip, you can pretty much skip all of that here. And of course, if that's not enough, he's got mercenary friends up there, and second try Hunk, but we also call that the first try Hunk every single time.
Yeah, so if you guys remember what I did at the gas station, if you manip the AI or hit a enemy in a mini boss or a boss in a way where the game says, oh, you're technically in a stealth mode, that's what we did. For some reason, when we do those 2 autosave reloads and switch to third person, and we do a very specific, like 1-2 frame input, the game thinks that, oh, Hunk hasn't detected you. You can execute him, even though he is a boss. So. Anyway, we approached the last 2 sections of the game. Of course, they got to give us one final grace section. And if you remember what I said, everything you did in the beginning of the game comes back to haunt you. Luckily for Grace, we didn't screw up too badly. Leon is another story. Leon does not have any heals, but Grace has 4 or 5 heals. Welcome to Art. If not the first 20 minutes of the game, the second most reset heavy spot are probably these next 2 sections. Because Grace doesn't have to deal with zombies. Rather, she has to deal with another very, very familiar type of enemy. That's actually not that bad casual, because you walk to avoid them. But this is a speed run. We're going to be making noise. They're going to be running at us. The enemy is, in fact, the Licker. Very iconic Resident Evil enemy. Even if you've never heard of them, if you see them, you should probably recognize them, one would imagine. So we're going to make a save here. Because, like a lot of the other Grace sections, could get really bad.
Yeah, you don't get autosaves again. You don't get many autosaves for this section even, so if you die, you get put all the way back.
Yeah, Grace gets 0. We're gonna look this way to avoid the jump scare. Run into the first Licker right here. That is a Licker. Some of you may recognize it. We're gonna shoot right there to alert all the Lickers in the area, and we're gonna have to take a very specific line for the next 4 minutes. I'm gonna kind of focus. You guys could talk about, I don't know what you guys can talk about.
There's a lot of things going on here.
Yeah. Oh, God. You know, they don't get any prettier. Oh, God. Oh.
Yeah, there's a few scripted grabs here. I don't know if that one is scripted.
Oh, there are theoretically no scripted grabs, but most runners expect to be grabbed here a bunch of times.
Yeah.
This is why it's so important your early game is good, because you're allowed, if you have a really rough early game, you are not, let's say you leave care center and basement with 1, and you have 1 heal for this entire section, as opposed to if you leave with 4 heals, you have a leeway of, 4 or 5 hits then at that point. Luckily for Grace, we actually did pretty well. I would say the only funny part, this wasn't even that much time lost. That one zombie grabbing us 4 times in a row. It's actually kind of funny. That is classic. This is. Should make another autosaver. We're gonna open this up.
Be careful.
Pick it up through the wall, because that's how
Let's get going too.
keys work apparently. Hey, buddy. It's actually really funny because this liquor's here. I can't actually. I cannot make a save here because that liquor is there. So let us pray. Put this acid bottle right here that gets rid of this liquor. Take this specific line. The zombie's in the way. We're gonna stumble it out of the way. Take this very specific line further away from the door because we want the liquor a little bit more time to come to us. There's a zombie that's going to be in our path right here because we the long line. He is not a puzzle on our way out. We picked up that knife very specifically because if you use the knife as a defensive measure, all the enemies around the one enemy you stabbed as a defensive measure will be AFK for a bit. And as you can tell, there are a lot of zombies here that I kind of need them to go AFK.
They really, oh my god, there's so many.
Yes.
Goodness. Okay, so I've been thinking, right? So this is an underground research lab that is beneath Raccoon City.
Yep.
There's an underground research lab in Raccoon City, also in 2 or 3, and
Also, yep.
Is Raccoon City like the Spider's George of underground labs in cities? That's a very specific reference. Sanjan understands me.
I do not understand. But I will say, yes, it is. Indeed.
It's the joke is statistically there are 0, like the average city has 1.1 underground labs underneath. The problem is that Raccoon City is an outlier and shouldn't be counted.
Yeah.
I'm explaining this really poor. I'm very tired. It's been a very long weekend.
Do a specific J-hook formation run along that enemy. Oh, sorry for the language. But okay, that was almost it. I had to get the sidearm grab there, otherwise I was dead.
I just think the people of Raccoon City just love researching things, and after they went down the rabbit hole of discovering the virus, everyone's just like, oh, I'm just gonna experiment. I think it's just part of the horror game Torment Nexus.
You get a secret underground lab, and you get a secret underground lab, and you also get a secret underground lab.
I'm just sitting here wondering, how do they have the space for all of these fancy underground labs? What's the budget?
How did they not run into each other during construction is my other question.
I speedrun this. I don't know the lore.
Imagine knowing the lore.
These guys are right behind me. Although relatively clean run, I haven't died. Well, I think the only time I actually did die was at the literal first 20 seconds of the game. It's actually
still pretty
you can
quite
ask for in a
good.
marathon setting.
Yeah. And the game has been you have been doing pretty well.
All right, you thought Grace's section had a lot of liquors. Welcome to Leon sections. The developer said, well, Leon can parry, so why don't we toss double the amount of liquors at you? But unlike Grace, who has the skull charm that protects her from being one-hit shot, Leon does not have the luxury of having a one-shot protection. So, this is a lot of praise. I'm going to do some quick inventory here. I'm actually sure.
Yeah, also plot-wise, so we didn't really talk about it much, but Leon is going through something. He has the virus.
Okay, so yeah, this is a bit trickier. So apparently, this is extreme retcon, but anyone who was part of Raccoon City in the past has a lingering unknown virus that is slowly killing them. So a lot of, you could see on Leon's forearms, he's going to die and whatnot. But so Leon's last kind of dying wish is that he wants to save Grace and also stop the Elpis virus from being unleashed as well.
I'll take out as many of you fuckers as I can.
It is a very weird, addition to this game, but yes, Leon Scott Kennedy is dying right now.
So what he's doing here is using a grenade on our liquor friends at the right time to buy him some additional time to activate that button here. Same thing with this. And also funny thing is you do not get iframes during when you're activating. Oh my goodness.
That is Leon's arc section, pretty much, in a nutshell.
And this is why we reached our goal of 100 subs, to free Leon from this torment nexus and to get the good ending. Which, by the way, thank you all again for helping us surpass 100 subscriptions for us here at Speed Stuff for Charity.
Yeah, this section, this is my least favorite section of the game, because you don't really see is that whereas you can parry single attacks, the Liquor's attacks are multi-hits, so you have to double tap parry every time they single hit like that. It's very rough. Essentially what you're doing is at this point you're going to be running by 8 Liquors. You have to parry in all directions, front, side, and behind you, and deal with 8 of them. Not the worst attack. We need to heal. There are a lot of buddies here. Guys,
oh my.
Gentle. Oh.
Oh, they're oh my god.
Yes.
Run, Leon, run!
Run, baby girl Leon, run! Run for your life!
That being said, if you want to speedrun this game, goes without saying, you should learn how to parry. Parrying is very important. Not only this section, but the final boss as well. Which, thank you all for your donations, and thank you all to all the wonderful runners at the beginning of this event, or at, for the entire event. You guys put on a great show, and thank you to everyone on this show. You guys have been fantastic. So, we're not at the final boss yet. I know that sounded like I was approaching the final boss, but we're not at the final boss yet. We got a cabin section with Leon, in which we have to kill 8 Liquors and 8 zombies. So,
How long would you say we have left in the run?
10 minutes.
This is the final sort of section in the until we get to the 2 final bosses here.
Yeah, this is literally the final section before the final boss. Please! I can't parry!
Warning. Autoclave compromised. Pod lockdown unavailable.
We use one of our heavy grenades to kill as many of these zombies as they do when they spawn. And it also skips a Leon coughing animation. It's sick. For a very specific time.
Warning. Pod lockdown unavailable.
So normally you see Leon, the screen's purple. Leon would actually be coughing during this bit right here. You are unable to fight for about 10-15 seconds, but because we animation canceled with the grenade, guy almost got his dues. One more dude, and there is.
The elevator will arrive shortly.
Sorry, I had to do that. It's necessity, and that is the last combat section before the final boss of this game. And just asking formally, we are doing the good ending, right?
The elevator.
Yes, we are definitely doing the good ending.
Mm-hmm. On that side note, while we're walking to that final arena, Don't Stop Girly Pop is looks like a criminally underrated speedrun. So excited to see that make it to this SGDQ.
I am also so excited to see that run at SGDQ. Oh, me too, buddy. Y'all can't hear, but I have been coughing every once in a while behind the scenes. I relate hardcore to Leon right now.
So, of course, no Resident Evil would be complete without the super long walk up to the final boss. And if it wasn't bad enough that Leon is just walking to the final boss while dying, we're also going to have to do this walk up as Grace as well. I don't know. I don't think you have to put a poll up for this, but if you guys can guess who we fight the final boss as, is it, the agent that has all the guns and a billion bullets, or is it Grace Ashcroft? What do you think? Engine.
I need to hurry.
You know what?
You know-
I will do everybody one better. Let's make that a bid war. Or hang on. Is it a
Wait,
poll?
no, you can't. It's as Leon. I can't choose.
Okay.
She has zero. I have 0 bullets as Grace. I'm not gonna fight any. I'm not fighting anything with this photo.
I was gonna make it like a
I mean,
channel
you can-
points, bet your points kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's what I wanted to do.
Grace versus a weakened Leon. I mean,
Yeah. So here we go. If you want to not know the twist, just mute yourself. Mute me for 30 seconds. But Leon is dying. Grace is the key to Elpis. Elpis, it turns out, is the cure-all, is the panacea for all the viruses of all the Resident Evil games. So Grace has the choice of releasing Elpis or destroying Elpis. You destroy Elpis, it's the bad ending, But we are going to release Elpis, and even though Leon's dying from the virus, because we released the virus that we released the cure-all to the virus, Leon gets better. The bad guy hates it. It's Victor Gideon. He's back from the dead, and now we have to fight Victor Gideon. Do you want to kind of explain the niche of the Victor Gideon fight, Sanjan?
yep. So he's gonna have to lock in for this fight because there's a lot of sort of weird nuances going on here. He's gonna have to time his parries pretty well here, but he's gonna try to get Victor to a specific amount of HP. And so he's gonna do some damage here, and once he gets to a certain amount of HP, around 12.5k, he's gonna do his lightning McQueen transition here.
It is noted he does have iframes during this. So if you see his HP on the left, we need to get him to a very specific, between 8,000 and 10,000, in which he is going to do, he has the chance to do a very specific attack that we need him to do. So we're going to dodge his lightning attacks right here. Dodge his lightning jump right here. We're going to get him between 8,000 to 10,000 HP, and we're going to hope that he does a rocket attack, where he pulls out a rocket launcher. Yeah, I could hit him there.
And so pretty much from here, it is a waiting game. You're going to hope that he...
Seems you're reaching your limit.
So with the rocket, so he has the rocket launcher, he's going to have to stagger him. Cam's going to grab it and RPG him, the classic RPG kill.
There's a very famous video game series called Souls series, which they introduced a revolutionary concept. It might not be Souls, it might be an older RPG in all honesty, but phases are a thing in boss fights. So the last love letter, and perhaps one of my favorite Resident Evils of all time, you're gonna get to see, is Resident Evil 3 at this point. So this transformation is actually really cool. I'm pretty sure I'm still underestimated without just the one death.
Yeah, just to note for those folks behind, time is coming up in about a minute and a half or so. There is, as you're gonna see, one more friend, as mentioned, who can't not come over and say hi.
That is a nemesis from Resident Evil 3.
A final love letter.
That's true. We're gonna quickly reload the save right here to get a very specific AI manip. We're gonna use our last of our grenades. That puts him out of phase 1, puts him in phase 2. We're gonna throw another grenade for phase 2, puts him in phase 3.
Yeah, so these grenade throws are very specific, primarily because you see all those little bulbs. You ideally want to hit them all. Very good fight, and then another one here. Perfect, and then
All right,
is pretty
2
much
more
it.
quick time actions before time is called. I will be calling it. We are going to need to get out of this man's grasp for the final quick time event. Time is coming up very shortly. I will call it for you guys. Time ends in 3, 2, 1.
GG's.
That is Resident Evil Requiem on Insanity. This scene is cool as well. I think it's just funnier because it's a banana, so enjoy it with the banana.
Seeing Leon hold a banana up to the nemesis absolutely killed me on the spot.
Potassium.
This is the real way to play to beat bosses. Potassium defeats zombies.
That is it, Resident Evil Requiem. Thank you all for having me. I guess I should do my socials. You could catch me at twitch.tv/avukamu. Currently, right now, I'm taking like a month breather before I have to start preparing for SGDQ. I'm just playing Diablo 4. But if you want to follow me, I play a lot of horror games. I yell a lot. Actually, I don't yell a lot. I probably scream. No. I don't scream. I squeal? What would the word be, Sanjan?
I mean, you have the holy hand grenade yell when zombies come up and jump scare you. It's the, it's like you at the office on a terrible Friday.
Yes, my voice goes a lot of decibels higher when I get scared or something unexpected happens. But yeah, that's twitch.tv/avukamu Sanjan if you want to do yours.
I won't go into much because you already all saw me yesterday, and it is your run, Camu. But I don't speedrun Resident Evil games because I am just a casual enjoyer sometimes of video games, and Camu dragged me to play a whole bunch of RE games because I had to experience it. Before I only watched RE4 speedruns when it first came out for fun. But yeah, thank you for having me. If you can, I guess you can follow me at twitch.tv/Sanjan_ because I do not horror speedruns. I do RPG speedruns and BioWare speedruns.
And another part of the good ending that's not a part of the bad ending is, if you recall Emily transforming into the monster, even though we shot her in the heart 3 times, she is not dead. We just managed to stop her transformation. Emily is safe in human form, so Emily and Grace goes to live with Grace. This is a happy ending. Leon gets to canonically, in my head, live with Ada Wong, true ship that he belongs with. But thank you all to everyone in the marathon, back end, front end, for making this possible. And yeah, take it away.
Thank you both so much. And honestly, yes, Ada and Leon are 100% the OTP. So true. The one true pairing, if you will. You both have absolutely crushed it. Thank you both again. This has been truly one of the best ways to end a fantastic weekend. But yeah, so we are going to take a quick break, and then I will be back to say all of our goodbyes. But we're gonna take a little break and a little breather before then. I will see you all shortly.